We started?
Yep.
Welcome along, Philip. How you going? Good to see you. And you must be Kim. Nice to meet you, Kim. Welcome along. We're just going to casually go through the whole ceremony today. Not going to read the whole thing. We just want to make sure that you feel comfortable with everything and relax for the day. So, anything that comes up as we go along, ask questions. We're happy to stop and start and whatever. I'll talk you through this as we come to them. I'll have a bit of a read through and we'll make sure that this all runs nice and smoothly for you. How are you, Chloe?
Good.
Good to see
How are
you.
you?
You're in the right spot there, because what we're going to do is we're going to get, first of all, your bridesmaid. I can't remember your name.
Lena.
Lena, that's right. Lena, you're going to come down first,
Sorry.
and then we'll get Chloe to come down after. We'll have music set up on the day. We're having Parker Bell Canon in D, correct?
Yeah.
And so that will be playing as you come down the aisle. As we get to the front here, we can just, I'll put another chair beside over here so that your maid of honour can sit down as well, and we can get into the ceremony. Okay, so let's imagine that the music's playing. Our maid of honour comes down. Excellent. It is a small space, so we're aware of that. You can come across and stand beside best man.
I'm already making my way.
Excellent. Oh, yeah, that's good. So what I want to also mention is take your time coming down. It's not a rush.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see you. You guys are the main event today, so make sure that you feel comfortable and you're comfortably coming to the front nice and slowly. All right. As I said, I'm just going to kind of have a look here. Before we actually have that part, I'll make sure everyone is reminded about the no photography. Remember we talked about that in your meeting? Yeah, with no photography. Yeah, we're going to have, like, they can take, am I correct in saying they can take a few photos after we sign, and I'll mention that in the script, but for the sake of just during the ceremony, everyone will enjoy it, so we'll keep people from taking photos during it, and we'll make sure that they know that website if they don't already know that there. We'll go straight into, I'll have an acknowledgement to the country. And that will only take sort of one little paragraph there. We move into your introduction, which is what we've worked on in the in our previous meeting, and that's very much just outlining your history, some of the things that you told me, same with you, Philip, things that were important in your family, things that brought you together, your story. So you can stand there and relax and take a few deep breaths and get yourselves together at that point in time. Stop me if I say anything that's not true. So that'll take a little bit. Okay, I'm just recapping, as I said, some of the things we talked about in that meeting. I am reading the first reading, correct? And I'm just going to clarify with you that reading is How Do I Love Thee by Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'll read through all of that. We've got your brother here, Samuel. He's going to do the second reading, but we'll come to that in a little bit. We'll get him up here. And Samuel, hi. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good.
We'll might get you to practice the whole reading if that's okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
Practice is perfect. Practice makes perfect. Perfect practice. Did you guys practice anything else while we're here, like the vows or anything, or are they? Yeah, look, they're secret for the event, aren't they? And I've got a copy of them. But if you want to keep them secret, like we spoke about we won't actually go through them, but we'll stop at that point. Okay. Because what I want to make sure that you feel comfortable with is you don't want to get to a point where I'm saying something and you blurt out an answer before we finish the paragraph or whatever. So we might actually run through some of my wording when it gets to that, but just so that you're comfortable. So it flows. Okay. So we got to that first reading, and again, I'm going to recall back to our conversation at the meeting. You're not having having your father or anyone presenting you, giving you away today, what we decided upon, and I'll just read this little bit here so that you're aware of it, and remind us of what's going on. We're doing a presentation of everyone at the ceremony. So everyone will be confirming that you guys are getting married and that they're going to support you. So I'll read that out really quickly and you just tell me if there's anything that you want to take out or change or whatever at this last minute. Family and friends, this is where you are asked to be involved in the ceremony and to answer, we will, if you're happy, to help this couple in their future lives. Standing before you today is Philip and Chloe. They've expressed how important each and every one of you is, and they seek your guidance and trust in their future together. Will you offer your love and support as they join together today in marriage? And then hopefully everyone says, we will. We will. Hopefully everyone's going to say, will, aren't they? Who's going to fight against it? Okay, we come now to the monotum. This is the legal part of one of the legal parts of the ceremony, and we did discuss this. I have to make that whole big speech about saying I'm duly authorised by law to solemnise marriages according to law before you're joined in marriage, in my presence and in the presence of all of these witnesses. I am to remind you of the solemn and binding nature of the relationship into which you are now about to enter. Marriage, according to law in Australia, is the union of two people to the exclusion of all others voluntarily entered into for life. Now, I know we've already had a talk about that. You understand the meaning of that. But that, as I said, that's a legal part of the your wedding will not, the marriage will not be solemnized. That's what they do. We come to the asking. Now, at this point in time, you've had your little, bouquet, yeah? At this point in time, this is where you hand that bouquet off to Lena. Yeah, good. We're going to practice the whole thing. So, and then I'll get you and Philip to face each other. So if we just go through that part now, and I'll get you to hold hands, whether you do or don't. We had a talk about this part. I'm just going to be saying, firstly to you, Philip, you take both your wife, blah, blah, blah. We'll go through all of that. Did you want us to read that, or are you happy with it? Yeah, cool. You want to read it? Oh, wait, to read that part? It's not your vows, so we're not giving any secrets away. You happy with that part? That's the part we discussed. Yeah.
We've gone over it already.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so as I said before, just for the sake of continuity and to make sure that I know on the day we all get fitted, I'll have fitted. So just don't jump in. Make sure that I'll finish the whole sentence. You know, do you, Philip, take clothes to your lawful wedded wife, blah blah blah. Yeah. And just give it a bit of a pause.
Yes, there where it says, "Would you take to your wedded wife?" I'd expect you to say it there. I will. I would.
So yeah, just there's a little bit more. So take a breather, like I said, just wait and not jump in. Excellent. And the same for you, Chloe. Like, it's easy for us to say that it will all be Philip that might make the mistakes, but I've seen a lot of brides laugh in weddings as well. So.
Not me. I'm very professional.
Have a look behind us. If we just turn around now, the sub ritual that we discussed, we were going to have is a candle lighting ceremony. So, for the sake of the actual ceremony itself, this lantern and this lantern will already be lit. That lantern represents Philip, and this lantern will represent you, Chloe. Each of those will already be lit, and what we're going to do is beside here, we're not here now, but beside there'll be a couple of little candles, a couple of little matches. So you'll open it, and this is accounting for the breeze. You don't want your candles. It doesn't mean anything if your candles blow out. It doesn't mean that your life together is over or anything. This is symbolic. But what I will say is we're going to try and prevent that from occurring because we're outdoors. So if you open the front doors, and I'll get you both to try those in the front doors, have a feel of the latch. Pretty easy, correct?
Yeah.
I had a look before the ceremony, so before you came today, so that's good. So what we'll do is each of you light them. If they don't light, give me a shout because I'll have a backup around here. On a fire lighter. So if your candle goes out or if we need it, just give me a signal. You don't have to panic or anything like that. We'll just suddenly relight a candle and we'll get that candle going.
Yeah.
And we'll roll on with that. But that's very important. I think that's part of the symbolism of what we're trying to create today, to make sure one of the emphasis was on light. Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure that all rolls fairly well. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
So there's all of this text here, blah blah blah. We won't do that. I'll actually tell you when we're going to light the candle. Mm-hmm. And then once we've lit it, I'll say a few more words about symbolism of light. And that part of the process is over. We'll then move into your pledge. Pledge again, I'll get you to face each other, so you might just do that. So if we just are rolling through the ceremony, this is the part when, again, little short sentences. I've tried to make them short so that they're easy to repeat. You don't have to remember a big long thing in your head. So I'll start out with the first one and try and look at each other if you've remembered it. I don't know if you've memorised them or if you're reading them or whatever, but on the day, it's important that maybe you try and stay together. It doesn't matter if you don't, but it could help. So it will be, I'll just start the first one. When times are dark, I will look to you for light. When times are dark, I will look to you for light. Perfect. So we're just going to go through, and as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Are we happy with that? Do you want to read through them all, or are you happy to?
Well, let's read through them.
Okay, let's do them. All right. And you just repeat them back, face each other, and if you feel comfortable. When times are dark, I will look to you for light. When times are dark, I will look to you for light. When I'm feeling weak, I will look to you for strength.
When I'm feeling weak, I will look to you for strength.
When in times of joy, I will walk beside you with a smile.
When in times of joy, I will walk beside you with a smile.
I want to share your goals and dreams.
I want to share your goals and dreams.
Honesty and love will be the cornerstones of our relationship.
Honesty and love will be the cornerstones of our relationship.
I want to remain with you my whole life.
I want to remain with you my whole life.
Okay. And one thing, we can speak with a little bit of animation as well. Like, we don't want it to be like, oh, I remain with you my whole life. Because you're happy about marrying this woman and you're happy about marrying this man. I guess. Okay, now we come to exchanging the vows. This is the part where you guys have discussed with me about keeping this secret, and the other one you want to read on the day. Can I make sure they're correct? Yeah, I was going to say that very thing, so I'm going to let you have a look at yours and let you have a look at yours, Chloe. Have a read through those, make sure that I've got all the wording correct.
Compare.
So we'll have those here on the day like that, and I'll hand them to you at that point in time. So it's not as though you need to memorize all of that. So we can have it, we can read them, you can hand them back to me, or you can hold on to them. I think I'll be too nervous to try and memorize it. Okay. So that's the exchanging the vows. Are we all happy so far?
Yeah. Samuel, are you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Thank you.
Are there any questions so far? Are we travelling too fast? Did you want to go back and rewind anything? Did you have any questions? Good. We'll keep going at the moment. We might come back and reenact a few of these little bits if you feel as though there's anything that you need a little bit more time on. Okay. Ring ceremony. Tim, this is where you'll come into play. I'll read a little bit about the history of rings and the meaning and the symbolism behind rings. You'll have the rings. Who's giving Tim the rings on the day? You're going to give Tim the rings?
Hopefully, yes.
Tim should
Hopefully.
I should, yes.
Tim should be with Philip when they get ready, so he will have it.
Okay. I'll try not to lose it. So on the day, what we'll do is, because again, you'll be facing each other for your own ring ceremony. I'll be reading it, but you'll have the ring there in your hand. So maybe if we rewind back to where you've got your vows, you might want to give them back to me before you get it. It just depends. You might run out of hands.
We finish them before we finish everything before we put the ring on? Because multitasking might be hard.
Absolutely. Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Okay.
Will we be holding the microphone at that point as well?
No, I'll still be speaking. You can do the ring. It's not like I'll be jamming the microphone in your face. We're in a fairly intimate setting here, so everyone will probably be able to hear you. And as long as you're comfortable and confident with speaking, so make sure you project your voice a little bit on the day. That's okay. Is that alright?
That's fine.
Okay, so Kim's going to hand the ring to you guys face each other. Kim, I'll get the rings. I might take them from you. I'll hand them to you. Either of you, both of you, you can make sure each one's got the right one. Did you want to run through that part? Sure. Okay, let's read through it. We've got no rings. No one's getting married tonight. We're this afternoon. We're getting married next week. But anyway, I'll say, and again, you repeat these while you're facing the other person. I give you this ring as a sign of my love and devotion to you.
As a sign of my love and devotion to you.
I promise to support you. To care for you. And be beside you. All the days of our lives. And by then, if you haven't already done it, that's when you put rings on. Fantastic. All good?
Yeah.
You put it on the wrong hand. Yeah. Left hand on the day. Look, you can put it on whichever you want it to be on. But traditionally, it's that. That's not a legal part of a wedding, is it? No. Okay. Okay. Samuel, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Would you like to join us?
We're going to bring you up, Samuel, and if you could do if you don't mind running through your reading.
Yep, just let me grab my notes.
Excellent. So we'll have a if you turn around and face the audience, great. We'll have a microphone. I'll hand that to you on the day so you can pretend or whatever. I'll call you up, so I'll read that little part. I'd say I'd now like to ask Samuel Hendricks to come forward for the second reading. For this, Philip and Chloe have chosen the biblical reading from the first letter of Paul to the Corinthians, focused on love. Take your time.
Should we just read the whole thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor, and give over my body to hardship, that I may boast, but I do not have love, I gain nothing. So far?
Yeah, great.
Alright. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, and it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Perseveres. Sorry, I need to remember that. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror, then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three things remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.
Excellent. That was really good.
Thank you.
That's a tricky one. That last paragraph is I've seen that used before, obviously, and it's a tricky paragraph to read. Obviously, got a lot of different meanings in it. So thank you for your part. Excellent. You happy with that?
Yeah, perfect.
Couple. So as soon as Samuel has made his reading, we'll move on to the blessing and the declaration of marriage kind of together. Everything good so far? Mm-hmm. Again, Samuel, just so that you're aware, I'll have a copy of that reading on the day. So if for some reason
you pass out.
that goes missing, or you pass out, whatever. I can jump in, or someone else can jump in for you for that, but that's not going to happen.
Might need to use your reading anyway. My handwriting's terrible.
We'll have a printed version.
Oh,
so
cool.
That'll be good. Are you comfortable just reading those if like on the spot, if no one can do them?
Well, you do the first reading anyway.
Yeah, I'll be doing the first reading. So yeah, look, again, that's something that if you're happy for me to do that, I can dive in there. I'll have a script of everyone's reading, even your vows. I'm not going to make your vows for you, but that's why I've got them there so that we never know what happens on a wedding day. It's really hot down here, isn't it?
I might.
Are you okay? Do you want to share?
No, I'm fine.
Because what I'm going to say is, like, this time of day, while we're doing this practice, it's really hot here, but when we have the actual wedding, the sun will be coming, you'll be in the shade, so it'll be cooler, hopefully.
That's why we planned this spot, really.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so declaration of marriage, and then straight after the declaration, I'll say that you can kiss. You can't kiss yet.
No, not today.
Anyway, understanding how it's rolling through. Yeah. All right, from there, we'll roll through to the signing of the certificate. So if we move around the back here, and I'll get the bride and groom to jump into each of those chairs, and I'll get, this is where I'll ask our witnesses, which is Tim.
Have we kissed yet? Okay, we'll kiss.
Okay, Tim and Lena, if you can come around as well.
Does it matter if I them too?
It doesn't, because what I'll do is each person, we're going to sign, there'll be 3 certificates here. There's 2 certificates of marriage plus the actual, the other certificate, and we will go through them one person at a time. I'll only have one pen, so we'll make sure that there's only one signature being made on each one for each person. Yeah, it's just one that I actually received. What we will do is I'll probably, because I'm here beside you right now, I'll go through each of those 3 documents and I'll show you where each one is to sign. I'll come around the other side and I'll show you, Chloe, those 3 places as well. And then we'll bring in the other 2 witnesses, and I'll do exactly the same thing. This way we're going. So we'll jump up. No, you stay there. We'll get them to come around to the side and they can sign. You guys to the start. And we'll get the check. We'll work around you. Are you happy with that? Was there any questions about this? We went through a lot of that at the actual meeting that we had. It's really just the final certificate with all of the calligraphy and everything on there. That's what I'll be presenting you with on the day. The other one. Okay, after we finish the signing of the certificate, we're going to fast forward. There'll be some music. Again, I think you've chosen the same piece of music that you walk down the aisle to. So, Canon and D, Parker Bell, correct? So that will play while we're signing that, and I'll make sure that the rest of your friends and family understand that they can just sit nicely and listen to the music and what you do. Well, I think so. It's up to you. If you want me to tell them that they can, I'll definitely give them an opportunity once I present you the certificate, and then you'll be more up front, and then they can do some more. So let's just say we've done this whole part. I'll get you guys to come back out front here. Stand right in the centre. You come on back out with us, please, and stay off to the side as you were there. The official photographer may want to bring you in for some nice photos afterwards, but at this point in time, before I say this is who you are and you're married and all that sort of stuff, I'll present you with your certificate. I believe Kim, you've been organised, Alina, either of you have been organised at this point in time. Once we've presented that certificate, you're responsible for it, just so that we don't go off and have photos and it gets lost and all that sort of stuff. It is still an official legal document, so we have to look after it. Okay, so I'll present you with a certificate, and we wish you very well in front of everyone else, and then I'll tell the rest of your family and friends that you are going to have some photographs taken around the garden and that they can have some drinks, correct? Yeah. Okay. Any questions? If you want to rewind back over anything.
I don't think so.
What about you, Philip? Are you happy with how that's gone?
I'm happy with that.
Any questions from our witnesses?
Really fairly simple, like it's going to flow nicely.
Excellent.
I get the whole cloud.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming along tonight. Hopefully, this has given you a bit of a thank you. Hopefully, this has given you a little bit more of a comfortable setting, and you know where everything's going to be positioned on the day.
Yeah.
Happy?
Yep.
Excellent. Thank
We're
you very
married.
much. Well, you're not married yet, but you will
Well,
be
then
very soon.
we get to walk
Thank
back
you
down
to
the
you,
aisle.
Samuel, as
Yeah,
well.
then we'll follow you down.
You can, yeah.
I think I had fun.